Betty says, I know you may not answer this on this show, but why does Facebook arbitrarily stop my Facebook Live recordings before I push the stop button? Wow, it sounds like Facebook hates you, Betty. And finally, what questions do you have? After you go through that website safari course, you're probably going to have more questions, more specific questions. How do I use this tool? How do I upload this picture? What do I do about this? How do I make this work on my website? CJ, I want to implement what you just said to get more sales, but I don't know how to add whatever it is. Come right on back here to Ask A Web Geek and ask me those questions. Join our Facebook group, Ask A Web Geek. Find me on Twitter. Send me an email. However you do, smoke signals, Telegram. Okay, just send an email, right? Or a text, or call me, or leave a post in the Facebook group, and I will answer your question in an upcoming show. I've got a live studio question right now. Let's check in with Betty. Hi, Betty. Betty says, I know you may not answer this on this show, but why does Facebook arbitrarily stop my Facebook Live recordings before I push the stop button? Wow, it sounds like Facebook hates you, Betty. The answer is, I don't know. But one of the answers that I can give you is, are you using the new Facebook Live producer? Something that I might encourage you is to just be patient, because when they're using new things, things change. They realize what's broken. They find the glitches. They find the bugs, and it does get worked out. So in some way, they force you to use this new tool, and then you're forced to encounter bugs in it, and then they kind of work it out, and it changes. It could change every single day as Facebook implements new ideas and suggestions. I'll give you a specific example. 4, 5, 6 weeks ago, something like that, I was using the new live producer to do an episode of Ask A Web Geek, but I discovered it didn't do what I wanted it to do, because I come into this group, Ask A Web Geek, as my page, as my speaker page, CJ Gilbert. And when I clicked go live and it said, great, you're going to use the new live producer today, it took me there, and that option didn't exist. It wasn't even there. So I said, no, take me back to the old producer, the old live. And Facebook said, why? Why do you want to do that? And I typed into Facebook, this is what I want to do. This is why I'm doing it that way. Deal with it. I had to do that maybe 3 or 4 times over the next couple weeks. Tried the new live producer, didn't do what I wanted it to do, told Facebook about it, went back to the old way. And it wasn't too long, it wasn't but a couple weeks later that I went into live producer, and all of a sudden it lets me do what I want to do. Right now, I'm using the new live producer, and it's letting me do it as my page into my group. So they heard me, or they heard others saying the same thing, and then they implemented that, and now it's live for everybody. So what I would encourage you to do is, things change. Facebook is always testing stuff. Here's another thing to tell you about. You may be in a test group. You could be sitting right next to your girlfriend, and you're both on your phones, and you're both looking at the Facebook app, and you're going to click a button, and you say to her, hey, look at this button, look at what I'm doing here. And she looks at hers, and she doesn't have that button on her phone. And you're like, how is this possible? We're both looking at the same thing on the same thing, and it looks different. It's because Facebook is always testing new features, new things, and one of you could be in that test group and see that new feature before the other one does. It happens all the time. So my short answer is, I don't know. My long answer is, it's because they are always trying to improve this technology. And as you know, technology is always fighting us, and there's bugs and there's glitches, and it's the whole reason I have a job. So quite frankly, just be patient with yourself, be patient with Facebook. It can be very frustrating when you're wanting to get your message out and you're prepared to do that, and everything in your mind is all around your message that you want to put out and what you're going to say, and then you get into the Facebook and you click the button and it fights you, and it doesn't do what you want to do, and by the time it's actually working, it's like your energy is drained away, and you were all excited and ready to share this message, and then you had to fight with the technology, and it turns on, and you go from, hi, welcome to my great message, to, hi, I'm finally live on Facebook. And I'm speaking from personal experience. So if that happens to you, just know it happens to all of us. It happens to the web geek, and I'm used to battling with the internet, so it's no surprise to me. So hopefully that gives you a couple ideas, Betty. She says she's laughing out loud. Yes, she's using the new producer. It's good to know about the test groups. I used to volunteer to be in test groups at work, but I knew it was happening. Exactly. Yeah. Facebook's very generous with their programmers. They'll let a programmer take a group of 20,000 people and test something on them and see what it's like and get some feedback and decide, yes, we like that feature, or no, we don't like that feature. So at any moment, you could be in one of those test groups. At any moment, there could be a glitch. At any moment, it could work, and it could work different tomorrow, and then it could work the same way again the next day as it did 3 days ago. And you're going to think to yourself, am I crazy? Is it different? What happened? You're not crazy. It's the technology. It literally changes every single day. If you go back and watch my first videos that I ever made, you're going to see they are so blue. They're blue in view, and that's because I didn't know how to color correct my webcam for the longest time. And I'm convinced that when I first started using my webcam, the setting wasn't there. It wasn't even there, because as you can imagine, I went through every setting I could find to look at all the settings that I could tweak, right? Doesn't that sound like something I would do? Well, it is. And it wasn't there. And then here I am a year later, months later, I don't even know how long, I found a button in the settings where I could color correct the thing. And I'm like, oh, here it is. And it looks so much better now. Did I miss it the first time? Maybe. But you know what I think is more true? It wasn't even there the first time. They added it later on a later update. The software updates. Your software is always updating, on computers. And so I bet that setting appeared newly since I first saw it. So anyway, that kind of thing is going to happen to you too. Does that help, Betty? I hope it does. Thanks for asking your question. Yes, we're always welcome to take live questions right here on the show. So jump into our Facebook group, Ask A Web Geek, and leave your question right there as a post, or jump onto the video and ask me right here in the comment section, just like Betty does. I love it. Thank you so much, Betty. Thanks for being with me today. My name is CJ Gilbert, and I am the Web Jungle Safari Guide. All right, I'll put on the hat one more time. Web Jungle Safari Guide. And I do this to remind you the internet is a jungle. We understand the internet's a jungle. It's so easy to get lost. It's so easy to go down the wrong path, to fall into the hidden quicksand or traps that you didn't even see coming. Join with a tribe of people. You can avoid all of that pain and misery and aggravation and lost money and lost time by joining a community that already knows the jungle, by joining a tribe, by hiring a well-trained guide that can lead you straight through the jungle, get you where you want to go. Let me be your guide today. My name is CJ Gilbert. You've been joining us for the Ask a Web Geek podcast and show. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your time and attention. I want you to have a wonderful, wonderful week. Have a happy Wednesday. Ask me questions. Go take the 7-part video series. Let me know what you think. I'd love to get your testimony and feedback. And then come right on back to Ask a Web Geek to ask any questions that you have. We're here to help. So check us out at askawebgeek.com. Have yourself a wonderful day, a wonderful Wednesday, a wonderful week, and we'll see you next week in the Web Jungle. God bless. Okay, let's look at all these again. There's my slides. There's my slides and me. On this slide, very important information. And then we got the big slide, big cam. But we got the browser, askawebgeek.com. We got the browser and the CJ, askawebgeek.com. Okay, I think that's good. Please subscribe on YouTube. Boom. Roar. And then we're going to fly over here. We're going to click this blue button, subscribe on YouTube, by using the blue button on the Ask a Web Geek website, or you can just go immediately to youtube.askawebgeek.com. That's the shortcut link I've set up for it. The internet's a jungle. Roar. One step at a time. One step at a time. Slow steps are okay. Slow steps. See you next time.